let's move on to the outer retinal tubulations. Basically, these are tubular structure which you tend to see in the outer nuclear layer. It may be associated with any disease retinal entities which causes the outer retinal layer changes or disorganization of the outer retinal structures. Invariably, they will be associated with irreversible photoreceptor damage. Typically on OCT, on cross sections, they look like a round tubular structures with an hyporeflective center with an hyperreflective border. On on-face imaging, they may show a branching network. Usually they are associated with a poor visual prognosis. One need to differentiate these tubular structures from the other disease entities, like it can mimic like a cystoid macular edema or intraretinal cyst or subretinal fluid. Various disease entities, you tend to see these tubular structures, as I told before. The ORT is nothing but to represent a neurodegenerative pathway which occurs in most of the common retinal disorders. It could be AMD, DME, or CSCR, or some of the white dot syndromes, Azure, the gyrate atrophy, and many RP. Many conditions can have these tubular structures we can see in this. So we're exactly to look for these ORTs, especially look at the areas where there is a neovascular fibrosis or retinal atrophy is there. The relative disruption of outer retinal structures and preservation of photoreceptors often overlaying on RPE damage is there. If there is an area of intraretinal fluid is there, look around that. If you are planning for an injection, post-injection, look in those areas, or at the junction of the preserved and distorted photoreceptor layers. In geographic atrophy, you typically tend to see these lesions in the perilesional or invading into the geographical atrophy. This incidence keeps on changing, but in AMD, as the disease progresses, the incidence keeps on increasing. Sometimes it is underestimated, you may miss these outer retinal tubulations. There are various morphological patterns of ORT can be seen. One could be, it could be typical is a closed form, which is a much more stable form. The others could be open, and you can see a forming form of ORT or a branching pattern of ORT can be seen. The mean, according to the studies, mean time anywhere could be 12 to 14 months. It can keep varying. Studies have shown these could be stable over a period of 3 years of follow-up, but of course, they show changes in fluctuations in volume in a serious scans. So you can have a various morphological patterns of the ORT. The intensity of the hyperreflective band in the ORT may vary. The cone densities can be studied by the recent adaptive optics and other things. Even you can assess the number of surviving cones. You can see the various morphological patterns here. It could be oblong or it could be typically circular. The many forms can be seen. So basically, ORT is nothing but it is the protection mechanism where we tend to protect the photoreceptors from the failure of the RPE. ELM is an important structure in this. So whenever there is these degenerative changes occurs, there will be rolling of the photoreceptors, and ELM tends to pull towards the Brooks membrane, and these typically photoreceptors starts orienting towards the center of the lumen with the degenerative changes. So the outer band may vary in various patterns. It can be on a cross-sectional images, it could be flat, J-shaped, or fully curved. Various patterns can be seen. Sometimes what happens, the photoreceptors may completely degenerate and you can see only the ELM as an hyperreflective band. In those cases, it may become difficult to differentiate it from the cyst. The conglomerate of multiple microtubules sometimes can appear and they transform themselves into macrotubules also sometimes. So interconnecting tubes contain degenerated photoreceptors and enveloping Muller cells. You can have a 3D constructions of the ORT also with the new imaging techniques. On on-face imaging, various patterns have been described. This is typically described as a pseudodendritic pattern. And another pattern you tend to see, you can also see another, this is in tubular structures, ORT associated with intraretinal cystoid cavities also can be seen. This is a typical on-face, you can see a tubular structure, how well it is delineated. In a patient with a geographical atrophy, you can see the ORTs or the tubular structures invaginating into the area of atrophy, very well demarcated or very well shown. You can measure even the dimensions of the ORT by measuring across the ORT as well as measuring the adjacent structures to the ORT. You can get the height of the ORT, width of the ORT, all these things can be measured. What are the clinical implications? Definitely these have got a worse visual acuity and their retinal sensitivity will be reduced. But Dr. Sada's paper also is there. In patients with ORT, there will be slower enlargement of the geographical atrophy than those without ORT. So typically these patients with ORT more likely to have intraretinal fluid, subretinal fluid or both. Abnormally thin and thick retinas are seen. Larger CNVM lesions are associated. Pathological features you tend to see in the foveal center. less likely to have a CNVM, and usually they will be associated with a poor visual acuity. So treatment, they are usually stable over a time, that there will be multiple changes can occur. They will have a collapse or sometimes recurrence or enlargement. Some do respond to the anti-VEGF because they have got a vascular component, and some remain stable, but it is independent of anti-VEGF treatment. Now, the lengthier the correlation is seen between increased incidence of ORT and the length of anti-VEGF treatment. This is one of the Japanese studies which has studied the incidence of ORT in various forms of the diseases, from PCV to myopic CNVM to RAP and other things. They found in their studies that the incidence is little bit lower in the PCVs when compared to the other diseases. So in conclusion, ORT is seen in variety of retinal degeneration. It serves as a survival mechanism for the photoreceptors. By identifying the ORT, you can minimize the referrals and interventions. Multimoding imaging is definitely give an insight into the cone photoreceptors and other changes. The ability to identify the surviving cones, especially in adaptive optics, may be a biomarker for potential therapeutic interventions. Thank you.